Alyssa always knew she wanted to shine on the catwalk. Since she was a child, she leafed through fashion magazines and imagined herself appearing on covers, walking for big brands, and proving that black beauty had a place on any stage. She grew up in a simple neighborhood, the daughter of a talented seamstress and a bus driver who never spared any effort to support her. Despite financial difficulties, her mother sewed dresses inspired by haute couture looks, and her father took her to every possible casting, believing that his daughter was destined for success. Now, at 22, Alyssa finally had her big break. "I had been called to a casting for one of the biggest brands in the world." The event would take place in a luxurious studio in downtown New York, and only the best models in the country would participate. Deep down, she felt that insistent nervousness, but her determination always spoke louder. "This time it will work," she repeated to herself. The casting hall was imposing, glass walls, golden chandeliers, renowned stylists sitting behind an imposing table, analyzing each candidate with meticulous eyes. When it was her turn, Alyssa walked the runway with confidence. His gait was impeccable. His posture exuded confidence. However, he quickly noticed the discreet whispers among the evaluators and the unreceptive looks. In the end, only a dry, "Thank you, we'll be in touch," was said. She knew what that meant. Minutes later, he saw other models, all white and with standard features, leaving with contracts in hand. He felt a tightness in his chest. That story, that rejection, wasn't new to her. But this time, she was not willing to accept it silently. Alyssa left the casting with a bitter taste in her mouth. He walked through the busy streets, trying to hold back the tears, but injustice burned in his chest. She knew she hadn't failed. "I knew I was as prepared as any other candidate there. So why was it never enough?" When he got home, he vented to his mother, who just held his hands affectionately. "My girl, the world isn't always ready to see what's different, but that doesn't mean you should stop trying." The next day, Alyssa spoke with her friend and professional colleague, Jade, a Latina model who had also felt the weight of exclusion in the fashion world. "We can't stay silent," Jade said. "We need to show that we deserve to be there as much as anyone else." Determined, Alyssa began to expose the situation on her social networks. His story went viral. Other black models began sharing similar experiences. Outrage grew, and a discussion about racism in fashion took over the internet. But not everyone was happy about it. The casting brand got in touch and denied the allegations, trying to silence her. Some agents began to avoid working with Alyssa, claiming she was causing trouble. But she wouldn't back down. Now her fight wasn't just for herself, it was for all the others that came before and that would come after. Alyssa's phone rang with an unexpected proposal. A renowned fashion photographer, Malik Carter, wanted to do a shoot with her. "I see something in you that the world needs to see," he said. The essay was a success and attracted the attention of a major international magazine. Within weeks, his photo was plastered on covers and billboards. But the fight was far from over. In a live interview, a presenter suggested that Alyssa had only achieved recognition because people were touched by the controversy. It hurt her, but it also made her stronger. She responded firmly, "If a black woman can only be recognized when there is controversy, then there is something very wrong with this industry, and I'm here to change that." Alyssa started to use her visibility to promote other black models and to question limiting aesthetic standards. She created a project to give visibility to talents who, like her, were often ignored. At the same time, his career took off, but not without challenges. Brands that had previously rejected her began reaching out to her, but Alyssa was determined to only work with companies that truly valued diversity. The pressure was building, and at times she felt exhausted. But every message from black girls saying, "Thank you for representing us," kept her going. Alyssa was invited to show at Paris Fashion Week. It was the moment he always dreamed of. However, days before the event, the same brand that rejected her at the casting approached her, offering a $1 million contract for her to model for them. She hesitated. This was the chance of a lifetime. But then he remembered everything he fought for. If it accepted, it would be validating the same structure that excluded it. With a deep sigh, she turned down the offer and decided to model for a new emerging brand that truly embraced diversity. When he stepped onto the catwalk, he felt something different. It wasn't just a parade, it was a statement. Alyssa became one of the most respected models of her generation. Her name was not only associated with beauty, but with endurance. Brands have started to change their selection policies. Agencies have rethought their beauty standards. The impact of her courage resonated beyond fashion, reaching young Black women who finally saw themselves represented. She looked at her mother, sitting in the front row of a parade with tears in her eyes. "You did it, my girl," she said. Years later, Alyssa founded her own modeling agency, focused on inclusion. When an aspiring young woman nervously walked into the agency's first casting, Alyssa smiled and said, "Show me what you've got. The world is ready for you."